God did it because he had a unique reason for forming this nation, the boundaries of this nation, which he did form and said these borders and boundaries should be protected by the government of the United States and not erased, because we should not allow other nations to influence the unique purpose of this nation. And in the immigration should be a part of our basic purpose, which is preach the gospel into the kingdom so we can export the gospel through the United States into other nations, be a missionary sending nation. So we are very international and very immigrant friendly, but the process through which immigration occurs must feed back or answer back or have the oversight of this originating purpose, not the destruction of that purpose or the altering of that purpose or the erasure of our borders or the destruction of nationalism in the sense of national identities, because these identities come from God, and that would be an effort to oppose what God wants. So America is exceptional because America has an exceptional remnant. Now, the size of the remnant is not important. The power and authority of the remnant is. And it's its sound is being heard in heaven. Its power is being felt in the earth. And the American remnant is the hope of the nation. Again, we don't need all of its citizens serving Jesus in order to be a fathering nation or to experience an awakening. But we do need the remnant to be strong, authoritative, involved, and continuing in its faithful endurance during the process of the greatest battle on earth. What's happening now is a culmination thing. What God is doing is bringing the battle of the entire world to the United States of America, and a remnant here who can function at an international level is into this conflict and confrontation, to the point that we will see the greatest victory that we've ever seen, because we're fighting the greatest battle that we've ever fought. Be encouraged. These are the greatest days of history, for the greatest harvest of history. And it begins with remnant nations preaching the kingdom gospel and producing leaders who can function at an international level. Now, I said all that to say that is the very definition of our mandate and mission here at Kingdom Leadership Institute. So I'm very happy to introduce these important ideas to you, that you need to function at an international level. Find, join, and submit yourself to the American remnant, and see the restoring and redemption of this nation in a season when the level of confrontation and battle is international, and a battle for all the marbles, as we'd say in the United States, is here. And we asked for this battle, and we're in this battle, and we are going to win this battle. And we are going to, in the same time, mature the remnant and the kingdom leaders now available in that remnant to a point that their international function will increase, and we will then be exporting this great awakening, this new era of reformation, to every continent on the earth, joined by Australia and Brazil and Singapore, and seeing the restoration of other nations with fathering callings like Italy and Germany and England and Argentina and Costa Rica and Panama and Singapore, and the influences of God in Asia as well. I can enumerate, but world powers that appeared to dominate with evil are manifestations of a purpose to dominate with kingdom. But because they made covenants with the wrong gods, they became the remnants of darkness. And this battle has been both spiritual and natural. But at this moment, 2021. It is of the heightened uh, level of international conflict in the spirit has produced the greatest intercessory movement in creation history. And the greatest battle has now come to the shores of the United States of America, because this remnant is going to win that great victory. And all the nations are praying together. And so I'm not saying that the remnant in our intercession is all that's going on. What I'm saying is that God has put us in this place of leveraging, of wrestling, of winning, warring and winning, with the full support of angelic armies and the intercessory prayer movements of the globe. The greatest intercession in the history of creation is here, and Jesus is looking to us and hearing the sound of what God is doing in fathering nations, the intercession and worship of Brazil, the intercession and worship and apostolic leadership of Brazil and Australia, the powerful influence of Singapore and what God wants to do to shake his church in Singapore, especially to do something that will rock Italy. It's already begun, but Europe will again host fathering nations. But especially England, I think, is already had its borders and boundaries restored, economic independence restored for a reason, which when I was there in Manchester, I prophesied. And what God said is happening. So he's restoring fathering nations, but the leading edge of this battle appears to be now in Australia, Brazil, Singapore, and the United States. So England is still going to shake off its Brexit. Freedom is going to expand, is going to shake off chains. And Italy is about to be hit with a natural movement and shaking that will open up the beginning days of an awakening in that nation as well. Something shifting that will never, the old will never return. And so here at Kingdom Leadership, I welcome you, Dr. Don Lynch. I'm the founder and president, and say to you, this is the context of history in which Kingdom Leadership is here, like a cradle of fire, a volcanic moment to birth you into Kingdom Leadership at an international level, and that this is your destiny and your purpose as part of this remnant. Thank you for listening. I'm Dr. Don Lynch.